Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. With an emergency podcast because the news just broke that ABC is yanking Jimmy Kimmel off the air for comments he made on his show's monologue last night. But this framing is all wrong. First of all, let's backtrack. First of all, assassinations are bad. Celebrating assassinations are very bad. No matter who the person being assassinated is or attempted assassination, okay? No matter their political party or who they are. They are bad and they are very bad. Now, Jimmy Kimmel, because I watched the clip because I had no idea this happened and I was like, oh, because like the View, as in the show, has been a little worse on this. Jimmy Kimmel, because I watched the entire monologue clip, and a lot of even normal Republicans are like, he didn't say anything controversial. Jimmy Kimmel did not say anything about that Charlie Kirk was offensive or celebrating the murder or assassination. He did not say anything about that at all. All Jimmy Kimmel said was that it's very likely that the shooter could be a MAGA Republican, right? He said, it's very likely that the person who murdered Charlie Kirk could be a Republican. And now, just from indications of the text messages that leaked with his transgendered roommate that he was dating or not dating, no one really seems to know about this part. A lot of things can be true at the same time on this, okay? That the person who assassinated Charlie Kirk could be a MAGA Republican who loved Trump but hated Charlie Kirk for his transgendered comments. These things are not in conflict with each other at all, okay? Just like, for example, you could be a Democrat who was pro mass deportation. Now, some people may say things are in conflict with each other, but they are not. Okay? Just like there are some Republicans who believe in a version of universal health care. These things are not really all at odds at each other at all. Jimmy Kimmel did not say anything offensive about Charlie Kirk. He didn't even do these things that the people who are getting fired for these really, by the way, offensive comments in regards to celebrating Kirk's assassination and things like that we're seeing for the last week. All he did said it's very likely that the shooter could be a MAGA Republican and that I guess Trump didn't really care because he went golfing instead of the wake that J.D. Vance and about 280 members of Congress attended, right? That is all he said, right? That's all he said. He did not do anything at all criticizing Kirk, but the affiliates are mad. This feels now very similar to what happened with the Me Too movement. Now, if you remember, when the Me Too movement started, there were all their cases, but I'm talking about our two serious ones, right? Where the Matt Lauer thing and Harvey Weinstein, where they had these buttons in their office where the doors were locked and women were trapped and all this other shit, right? Very bad things where they were abused. Well, I don't even want to go into any of that. Where they were allegedly doing stuff, whatever. I'm not going to say anything because I understand there were legal cases with whatever, but they were fired and ousted from their jobs. And then the Me Too movement moved to what became bad dates and awkward moments like the Aziz Ansari situation, okay? It became a snowballing into an overreach that eventually then made the movement mean nothing, and everyone just thinks of Me Too as a joke now because, oh, what, you're going to Me Too me because I said you were ugly or you were fat or whatever, and then suddenly everything became Me Too. The things in regards to the right wing quote unquote cancel culture things, they were rightfully saying your employer was celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right? These were a lot of things very bad. That is not good. Do not celebrate assassination. By God, I see this right now in the Pod Save America and the Bulwark comments, right? In all these videos talking about the Charlie Kirk assassination, where a lot of the comments are like, well, he was a racist or blah, 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 right? Jimmy Kimmel did not say anything bad about Charlie Kirk at all in the entire clip. Watch it. He did not say anything. All he did was say that the shooter could be a MAGA Republican, by the way. That is it. That is all he said. Just so we understand that. I watched the entire clip, and then he criticized Trump for not going to the wake that 280 members of Congress attended. Okay, because Trump went golfing instead. That is all he said. Just so people understand. And also, if the show is truly canceled, right now we know it's pulled off the air for at least a week or two. Jimmy Kimmel is supposed to shoot the shows in Brooklyn next week, like where he does Kimmel in Brooklyn. I don't know if the show's coming back, and I hope people understand the people who work on these shows are not rich. Okay? They are barely above middle class because living in LA, New York, or New Jersey is very expensive and there's not a lot of these jobs that exist. Okay? You forgot. James Corden is gone. Bill Maher has had his same staff for about 15 years. Oliver has had his same staff for a decade. Okay? So when like if Kimmel is truly off the air and they're just like, you're not coming back, because I don't think fundamentally, and look, I have been pro this whole get rid of people who are celebrating the celebration of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I've been pro, like, get rid of people, like, fire them, etc. But Jimmy Kimmel did not criticize that, the Charlie Kirk assassination, or do these whataboutisms at all. All he did was say that it very well likely the shooter could be a MAGA Republican. Okay, that is all he said. Now, you want to be mad at that fact that whatever, because we don't know the political beliefs, and you just assume, well, he has to be a Democrat because he killed Charlie Kirk because of trans comments. So what you're saying is that all MAGA Republicans hate trans people? I don't think that's true at all. Just like we know that 80% of people just, like, some things, we just don't want them in sports, right? And no men and women's sports. That's just the general consensus that everyone but the blue hair vegans accept, okay? These things are not, like, in conflict with each other. Okay, because I do not think all fucking Trump voters hate trans people, and I do not think that's the argument you people want to die on at all. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Is look, I do not understand this, because I've been very, like, honest with all of it. I've been, like, very supportive of, like, the things that are happening to the people celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I do not like that. I also do not like the people who are, like, in regards to the almost assassination attempt of Trump a year ago, where people are like, damn, if only his head moved right or whatever. Or the people who are celebrating the assassination of people who were murdered in Minnesota, or the people who were celebrating the assassination of Brian Thompson. Okay? Bad. Do not celebrate that. But this whole thing is that, were you saying to shooters, because this is the same thing with Luigi, where like he must be a Democrat. There is this, what is a way to phrase this correctly, that people, okay, what is this? Since everyone is closely looking through the political views of Tyler Robinson, he very well could be both a right-wing groper and an Antifa leftist at different stages. There is more overlap between these two things than normal people understand outside the pathological hatred of Israel. Just so people understand this. But that's all I have to say with this, okay? I'm done with this. Okay? I just want to once again say, celebrating assassinations are bad.